Sherry Benson-Podolchuk is a former RCMP officer. She joins us tonight from Winnipeg. We got you in the car. Oh, you pulled over and you stopped for us. So let's start with what you make of this appointment.
Thank you, Dwight. Always a police officer obeying the rules.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I don't really know. Thanks for having me. I don't know Kevin personally. I've heard things about him, but I don't really know him personally. And I would hope that we change the name from drug czar to director. To me, that's more Canadian, and that's more all-encompassing of what his role is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, the czar is there for the Donald. So as a former,
Yes.
you know that, as a former RCMP officer yourself, you know, what kind of skill set does he need to bring to the table for this job?
Well, you certainly need to be very good at leadership and management, because you'll be having everybody, all different agencies will be working for you. There'll be the RCMP, it will be the CBA, it will be CSIS, it'll be the Coast Guard, because some of our borders is on the coast, and Immigration and Transport Canada. All these people will be working together under the umbrella of his direction. So good leadership skills, good collaboration skills, being able to, oh, that didn't work, let's try something else without getting too down on everybody. I think those are really important skills he's going to need in this role.
You know, Trump says fentanyl is a huge issue on the border between Canada and the U.S. As a former RCMP officer, how significant is this issue really? Because we just had Tricia give us some of those numbers, and compared to the southern border, we're just a drop.
Yeah, we all know it's such a superficial claim and statement, and quite often things that he says, well, once you dig into the facts, you realize there's a kernel of truth in a mountain of lies. So it's a fentanyl. Not to say the fentanyl crisis is not a problem. I just think there's more things that are sneaking up and back across the border than just fentanyl. We've got human trafficking, we've got drug smuggling, we've got guns, we've got the drug cartel. There's a lot of things that are happening, and so the $1.3 billion is an investment in Canada, and it's an investment long term for Canada.
You talk about this investment. You also mentioned some of the issues that officers like yourself would have faced at these borders. How complicated is this issue to police this?
Well, Dwight, if you do a 35,000-foot view from Canada, you'll see there's a whole lot of spaces where there's no roads.
Yes.
You could smuggle anything that is, relatively portable on a drone. And so that's another thing they're going to have to be investigating. Drones that are going back and forth, and, trying to police a whole pile of places where there's nothing, there's no people, there's no roads. But people, if you're really serious about smuggling drugs, guns, people, you will find a way. And, we used to, boast about our, the relationship we had with America, the longest unarmed border. And now, since this fellow's in a position of power, we have to arm it and protect it in some way. But this will also be good for Canada. And I know the current commissioner has mentioned this a couple of times about addressing the border issues, and so this will be a long-term gain for all Canadians, and hopefully appease the bully down south.
And you got ahead of me, because my next question was, other than the name czar that you want director, would this be good for Canada? And you just answered that. Anything else you want to add before I let you go?
Dwight, thanks so much for having me, but I just want to tell you, I used to deal with bullying, and now my workplace, I help people deal with bullies, and they only understand one thing, and that's pushback. And I would rather eat grass than give in to a bully.
Sherry Benson-Podolchuk is a former RCMP officer, and she does deal with bullying, and yeah, it feels like we're dealing with a bully right now. Sherry, thank you for your time tonight.
Yes, we are.
Thank you very much.